You are listening to The Vibe, a 21 News podcast talking about Valley entertainment, pop culture, and everything in between.
Hello, it is Thursday, May 22nd, and you are listening to The Vibe, WFMJ's lifestyle podcast, our third ever episode here at the podcast.
Yeah, and you know, the weather is starting to heat up, so we are going to be thinking about activities to take you outside, and perhaps you need a new hobby. So we're grabbing our Frisbees today, and we're going to be talking about disc golf.
So to join us, we have a special guest today. We have Luke Shelton from Pure Flight Disc Golf, but real quick, we should also introduce ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm meteorologist Jimmy Wendolek, your one co-host today.
And I am meteorologist Jodie White, your second co-host for the Vibe podcast. And Luke, we want to thank you so much for coming in. So you're from Pure Flight Disc Golf.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have heard about disc golf, but I'm not sure if everybody knows what it is.
Well, disc golf started in the early 70s. The hippies went out to the beaches and the parks with their Frisbees.
Okay.
And there were no baskets. There were no, targets like there are today. So they were thrown at trees. They were thrown at light posts, and they made a game of it. They're like, all right, this is golf.
Mm-hmm. Right, for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things about disc golfer now that you see these courses popping up all over the valleys, it's such an easy thing to just be able to grab one disc and go out. Do you think that that's almost the most special thing about disc golf, how accessible it is?
Yeah, disc golf is super accessible, even if you're terrible at it at first, which you will be. Everyone is.
I am, and I threw a disc behind me as
You
I was
did.
trying to go forward.
You did.
On one of our out and about segments.
But it doesn't matter because it's not that frustrating. If you're terrible at golf when you first start out, traditional golf, or you're terrible at tennis, it's not very fun.
No.
And sorry to the tennis players and golfers of the world, but it's true. Disc golf, it's just very low stress, very inviting. Everyone is willing to help the newer players or anyone who's struggling. And yeah, it doesn't have to be as expensive. It can be as expensive a hobby or as cheap as you want it to be. You can go out with one disc and play any of our local courses for free all day.
Yeah, free. I mean, that is huge compared to the golf tee times that you have to book. And you don't have to book a tee time for disc golf, do you?
Some courses, some of the bigger courses in the world, that are very popular because either the Pro Tour plays there or they're just amazing courses. Like the best example would be Maple Hill up in Massachusetts. For a long time, it was the top rated course in the world.
Wow.
And, me and my wife went up there and yeah, it's busy. So you have to book tee times, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And, the 10 or 15 bucks a round was worth it because it's the best course in the world.
Yeah. So how did your personal disc golf journey start?
So my personal disc golf journey started when, after 16 years of sitting at a desk job and literally just getting overweight and unhappy, I needed a change. When you get into your 30s, your 40s, all your friends start moving away. They start doing their own thing. So I was kind of on my own island. I woke up every day. I would go to work and I would sit there at a job I hated, and I would not taking care of myself. I was not active anymore. And yeah, I got up to about 245 pounds, and this would have been the summer of 2015 when my doctor called me and said, your doctor really doesn't call you directly very often. He said, guess what, buddy? Your cholesterol is a wreck, and we don't want you to die, so you need to do things. So I started taking cholesterol pills, but even more important, I had to get out and do stuff.
Okay.
I don't like just walking for the sake of walking. I don't want to walk on a treadmill. I don't want to go to the gym. But I had to do something.
Yeah.
My daughter, Rebecca, her and her boyfriend at the time, they were looking for activity, so they started disc golfing. And they came to me and said, hey, we think you'd like this, because I was a traditional golfer for years. It just got too expensive. The courses were too busy. So I said, fine, I'll try it. and I literally threw one shot. I was like, oh,
Oh, there's something here.
I like this. Because everyone throws a frisbee when you're a little
yeah.
kid,
Yeah.
but me being competitive, I'm like, all right, this isn't just playing catch. This is a thing. Because I had seen the baskets. So I knew kind of what disc golf was, but I thought it was more just like a backyard game like cornhole or something. I didn't know how extensive it had become with full courses and a pro tour, $1 million contracts for the best players in the world. 7, 8, 900-foot holes, 1,000-foot holes, courses everywhere. And I'm like, I like this.
Yeah, and that's how I feel like a lot of people, like, that's the boat that they're in initially. They see the baskets, they know that disc golf is a thing, and maybe in, like, the sporting goods store, they see the couple of discs, but they don't really know how extensive it was. And I was probably one of those people until I came out here, and honestly, until I met you and went to your shop for the first time.
Yeah.
Didn't realize how wide and extensive it was, especially in this area here. So there's a lot of different courses around here for people to go out and play, and there's ones for almost all different skill levels and everything, right?
Absolutely. The first course I designed was Harding Park in Hubbard, which Jodie threw at. She threw a few shots at, and the cameraman lived, which is good.
Yeah, you can find that clip on our website.
Yeah, it has not been scrubbed from the internet. So my goal with Harding Park was, all right, I had a limited amount of space to work with. There are a lot of courses in the area that are like big time courses where you need long shots and technical, and so I wanted to create something there which was more toned down and easier to act, more accessible for everyone, but still make it fun for even great players. So we put it in and people loved it. Now, when I started playing, I lived in Trumbull County. There were a few courses there, but down in Mahoning County, Columbiana County, there were no courses at all. Boardman Park, there were no disc golf courses. So we would just play the few courses that we had, and then all of a sudden, other courses started popping up. There was Buell Park in Hermitage, and the Pines in that area, and then Boardman Park was next, and then Austintown Park. And before we knew it, we had just this plethora of courses everywhere, which was awesome. And we got to see our disc golf community grow just incredibly fast. When the Youngstown Disc Golf Club started with my buddy Zach and Josh, they're like, all right, we want to start a Saturday league at Austintown Park. And I liked playing with those guys because they came out to our leagues in Trumbull County, and I kind of latched onto them. I liked their personality. I was ready to move out of Trumbull County anyways because I liked the courses down here better. I literally moved to Austintown. I got a condo because I liked playing the courses down here, and I liked this group of people. I was like, why am I driving 45 minutes every day? I'll just move there.
Move there where the disc golf.
So let's backtrack to your...
I almost said pickleball. I was thinking in my own brain for a second.
Let's backtrack to your health journey. So did you play every day to lose the weight and get healthier, or how did that go for you?
So yes, I literally played every day from the middle of June of 2015 until past New Year's the next, in 2016. And by, I think it was around Valentine's Day, I was down about 180 pounds.
Wow.
Because I didn't really focus on that part of it. I was just enjoying playing, but I guess I was noticing my change. I was like, oh, I need to buy new clothes.
Right.
I need,
and there's no golf cart, so you are walking with your backpack of your discs every day.
Yep, like an average course around here. Like if I go and play an 18-hole round right now at Boardman, it's a little over 2 miles of walking, but you don't notice it because you're occupied the whole time. You're talking with your friends, you're doing your thing. So yeah, that was the biggest benefit because it saved me, big time.
And there's such a community that you found some lifelong friends, I'm sure, now in the disc
And
golf world.
that was the second benefit, which I didn't really anticipate, because I used to have fairly bad, crippling social anxiety, and I didn't, I was just kind of in my little shell, and I worked and I came home, and that's no way to live.
Not especially with the weather heating up. I mean, some people are listening and they're like, oh, I need to get out and start moving.
Yeah.
This might be their next hobby.
Yeah.
Sure. And it can, like I said, it can be as inexpensive or as expensive a hobby as you want. Like I personally at home have hundreds of discs. I own a disc golf shop with tens of thousands of discs. In my bag, I have, I think, 12. But you don't even need that much. You can just go out with one and $15-16, and that's all you need. You're not paying greens fees. You don't need special shoes. You don't even need shoes.
So let's talk about your store that you have.
Because you just opened that new store down in Boardman. You were in Hubbard for a little while, so now you have the shop over in Boardman. So what almost initiated that change there? Why'd you want to move?
Well, when we started, there's literally no true disc golf shop in our area. And so me and my wife, we were sitting on our couch, where all of our ideas come from. And she said, well, why don't we just open up a disc golf shop? Like that would, I would just snap my fingers.
Right, very fluid.
Yeah, let's just
so I was like, fine. So I literally started Googling, how do I run a business? How do I do this?
That's how it starts.
And I'm still learning every day. It's been 3 years, and every day it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or I didn't file that tax right, or all the back ends, all the garbage. But it's necessary. You have to do it right. So we opened the shop, and this was, COVID was just starting to tail off, and we had started to look for a place to have our shop, and everything was crazy expensive because we wanted to be in Boardman, because that's where Austin Town Park, Boardman Park, that's where the most played courses are. You got to go where the people are. Everything was too expensive. So we're like, well, fine. So we literally started selling discs out of our basement. And we learned very quickly that people don't want to go to your house to buy stuff out of your basement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did get some customers, but it was also, COVID was just wrapping up. So, but thankfully, my girlfriend at the time, Danielle, she said, we were both sitting at home sick with COVID, ironically. She said, well, why don't you just call my dad and ask him if we can open up the shop in the reception area of his recording studio. I was like, so we've been dating all this time, and you're just now telling your musician boyfriend that your father has a recording studio. So I texted him. I was like, hey, Dad, do you think this will work? How big is the space? Because we were sick. We couldn't even go and see it. So he sent me some pictures. I was like, oh, it looks so small. We'll make it work. And we did for 3 years. And people loved it. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know, my anticipation was, or my expectations were pretty low. I'm like, I don't know. Are we going to get
the basement?
Yeah.
Better than the basement. I was thinking, are we going to get $1,000 of sales a month? Are we going to get, who knows? I didn't know. And it went crazy because people, we needed that in our area. But I still had my eye on Boardman. So over those 3 years, I kept looking at the realty sites. Like, oh, still so much. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But then I started noticing a lot of these, commercial spots that had been on the market for years. I was like, why don't they just lower their price? And get someone in there? So it was this past fall, around Thanksgiving, I found a few places, and I started doing some calling, and then I found the one where we ultimately went to on West Boulevard. And we knew we wanted to be close to 224.
Mhm.
So like 1,000 square foot on 224 is $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month.
Mm.
Like, that's too much. But then I found the spot on West Boulevard, less than 1,000 feet off of 224 for about $1,100 a month. And I called the realtor. I'm like, yes,
Sold.
Wow.
let's do it. I want to see it today.
Yeah.
And so this location, you don't have that second location in the.
No, we closed the Hubbard shop.
Mhm.
And the funniest part of the whole process was the entire 10 weeks that we spent signing the papers,
Mhm.
remodeling the new spot, getting it ready to go. We didn't tell anyone
Yeah,
because I
we
don't
didn't
know
know.
what in my personality enjoys surprising people. But yeah, we wanted to do it. We told a few people
Mhm.
that we told my daughters, and we told a few other people, and we made a video. We filmed a video of to reveal the new shop, and we released that video, and it was like, finally, we have 5 times as much space, just more of everything, more discs, more bags, more apparel, more everything. We have a disc golf simulator. We have
Yeah, the
The
simulator.
The
Yeah.
very special and rare simulator that you have, because you really can't find that anywhere else.
No,
around here.
it's pretty new. The technology, it's called a tech disc. The technology in the tech disc has been around a while, where you go and it's a special disc that has a little computer
Mhm.
thing on it, and you throw, and it would send back the stats of your throw to your phone,
Hmm.
which was good. You could work on things. You're like, oh, I need to release the disc flatter. I need to do that. I need more speed. So you could see the numbers. And then as we were getting the ball rolling on this new shop, I saw Tech Disc had posted on their Instagram page this little 3-second clip of someone throwing into a disc golf simulator. I was like, oh, well, we need that.
Mhm.
So I started,
Yeah.
because we had room, and we're like, well, why would we not do that?
Yeah.
I've been wanting this forever. I've played on traditional golf simulators. I'm like, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do it, to program it. It's a lot, and they did it. So, and it's great. People love it. They can, when the weather's bad. I know I'm talking to 2 meteorologists.
The weather's bad.
The weather is, it's
More
my
than
worst
nice.
enemy.
Yes.
It's getting there. But it seems like, every day I want to go have league or a tournament, I'm looking at the weather.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on, Jody. Give me that sunshine. But when it's bad, or even through our winters, that people can come in and they can still throw.
It's always sunny inside of the shop.
That's right.
Do you have to book a time for that?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope.
Are you
No
guys going to be
cost.
doing the urban course this year?
The Urban Disc Golf is going to be in Akron this year.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't have all of the details. I think, I don't want to misspeak, but I think there's going to be one course through the streets of Akron, and then there's going to be a temporary course set up in the Rubber Duck Stadium.
Oh.
Wow. 'Cause
I
last
think.
year was on the streets of Youngstown? Is
Yes, we had an 18-hole course set up at Ween Park,
that? Yeah.
over by the amphitheater, and they set up a second 18-hole temporary course through the streets of Youngstown.
So cool.
Like, we were throwing right down here,
Yeah.
down this alleyway, and yeah, it was awesome.
I was here on that Saturday or Sunday. I forget which day of the weekend it was, but I was like walking out, and there's like groups of people walking around, and
Discs just
there's a
flying
disc right there. There was an alleyway off to the left over there. There was a hole down there.
Yeah,
There was the whole
that's
thing
so
in Wood
fun.
Park, and you also had a couple of professionals who were out here.
We
playing
had
that day,
we
so-
had 5 touring pros that came out. Gannon Burr, who is the top-rated player in the world. Isaac Robinson, he's the now 2-time world champ. Yeah, it was great. They came out. We had our Thursday night league a couple days before the event at the Ween Park course, and I think we had 80, 90 people out there. And it was a good time.
Yeah, you had all the people out. You had a bunch of vendors under the Market Street Bridge over there by Ween Park. So it was a real full day experience.
It was awesome. And I can't wait to do it again.
So if people are interested in disc golf, you mentioned a league. how can they start to participate with this?
So the leagues that I run, we have a Thursday night league at Boardman Park. We tee off at 6 p.m. It's open to anyone, any ages or skill levels. Come in, $5 to play. We split up everyone based on skill level. So even if you're just starting, you can still win some money. We have an ace pot that you pay an optional $1 into every day. I think it's up to like $350. So if you hit an ace, you get the money.
There you go.
And then we have a Saturday morning travel league where every Saturday, as long as the weather's good, we travel to different courses in the area. We tee off at 9 or 10 a.m. depending on where we are. So this Saturday we will be at the new 18-hole course in Girard that I just designed and installed at Liberty Park. So yeah, come on out. Even if you've never thrown, I'll have discs with me because it's just a good time. You're going to get healthy. You're going to meet, awesome people. And the new course at Liberty Park in Girard is awesome. It's still under construction, but playable. And yeah, the feedback has been great.
And how much money do you win if you throw the disc backwards into the hole?
Yeah,
just for Jodie's purposes.
No.
$0.
Please do not look at that footage. I embarrassed myself.
She'll redeem herself this summer. We'll try.
Yes.
We'll try to get her into a course.
All right. Well, if you are new at disc golf and you don't want to purchase a disc new, you have some ones that you found in the park. Are you selling those?
Well, so what we do is in the shop, we have a used section.
Yeah.
And the used section is great because for, $5, $6, $8, depending on the condition of the disc, you can get a disc very, inexpensive and you can try it out.
Right.
Like if you're thinking, well, I want to try that disc, but I don't want to buy a brand new one because if you don't like it, then.
And ladies, there are a lot of accessories with disc golf. You can get a backpack, you can get those ball markers or the disc golf frisbee markers, I guess you want to call them. So, I mean, I'm in. Yeah. I've tried it. I like it. I love being outside, walking, exercise. It's great for your health.
Yes.
Yeah, now I've also seen things in the design thing on your Facebook page. Dyeing discs is a big thing these days. So you have just blank discs for people to add their own touch onto too.
Yeah, the dyeing discs has really taken off in the last few years. So the manufacturers have started releasing discs that are just completely blank. They have no, they're white or just blank, no stamps. So people can, they can have their own artwork put on there. And I didn't bring any dyed discs, but yeah, we have some local disc dyeing artists. Mike Bosco, he comes in the shop all the time. He just started dyeing very recently, but his dyes look amazing. I personally don't have the patience or the time to do disc dyeing, so I will just buy theirs. But yeah, back to the used discs. So at the shop, if you have a bunch of discs or a disc that you don't use anymore or you don't like, you can bring it in and trade it in for store credit, and it goes into the used section.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So one final question about the discs before we get off discs. There's some numbers on them. What do the numbers mean for people maybe who are just starting off? I think it's like the different tail of the disc when you throw it.
So discussing the flight numbers may require its own
own
episode.
Okay,
No,
so maybe a quick run.
I will try to make this quick. So every disc is assigned by the manufacturer 4 flight numbers. The first number is the speed. That is based on the width of the rim. The wider this rim is, the higher that speed is. That number, that's how hard you have to throw the disc to get it to do what it was designed to do. The second number is glide. The higher that number, the more the disc wants to stay in the air. The third number is the high speed turn. The more negative that number is, the more out of the hand it's going to want to turn to the right. Like if you're a right-handed backhand thrower, typically when you throw, the disc because of the way it's rotating, it's going to want to finish to the left. The third number, the more negative that number is, the more it's going to want to, tail to the right a little bit or a lot, depending on that number. The fourth number is the low speed fade. The higher positive that number is, the harder and faster the disc wants to get to the ground. So that combination of numbers, that's why you'll see us out there with backpacks with 20, 30 discs. just more weapons, more shot shapes.
Similar to regular golf, but you don't
Sure.
need a lefty set and a righty set. You just need one set.
Right.
All right. Well, Luke, thank you so much for
course.
joining us on our third episode of The Vibe.
So hopefully people can get out to your shop, check out everything that you have going on.
Yeah. Yep.
And hopefully people will continue to check out our podcast here and all the other 21 WFMJ podcasts. You can find them every Thursday morning, dropping at 5 a.m. anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
Vibes and subscribes. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of The Vibe.